going to be at 6 o'clock. But I thought today we'd play a little game called Dot to Dot. Do you remember Dot to Dot? I used to play that when I was a kid when we had those little coloring books. I always looked for the dot to dots first. I just liked the way it went. You know, you'd start connecting it, all of a sudden you'd see the big picture. And you know what? That's the way it is on the guitar. When those dots start connecting, you start seeing a bigger picture. And it expands your ability to play and do different things on the guitar that just guessing wouldn't have brought you there. I think we all do our little small amount, or we all do our guessing. But it's nice to be certain. And the more you learn about these major minor pentatonic scales, the more you become certain. And, you know, just yesterday's video, we talked about the E minor pentatonic scale. I'll put the pattern up there but I tell you what, listen to that video, get that down, and then come back to this if you haven't done it yet. That scale right there is a 5-note scale. It's just repeated. It's all it is. It's just a repeat of 5-note scale. And it's a little different than the 7-note scale that we all have come to know and love. But we're going to just work on the pentatonic, the 5-note scales today. And there's so much to it. It gets so big that I just got to bring it down to some bites. I'm just going to show you just a little portion of it. And as I go along, I'm learning too. I'll tell you, it's the more I think about it, the more it seems to gel, or it seems to show me more of the bigger picture of the guitar. I mean, just this alone is interesting. This is the minor pentatonic scale, right? It's the open, because we're using the open strings. Instead of fretting a note, we're using the open string, where it's the E minor pentatonic scale, because we're starting with E. But the interesting thing is that the dots on your guitar seem to line up. Did you see that? But here's the thing. It doesn't completely line up, because you'll notice that I went up to the 10th fret. We have a dot on the 9th fret, and I went to the 10th. So, but you know, those dots are there to help you. And when you start getting these patterns, you'll be able to see where you're at. And so let's just move on from there, okay? I don't want to get too confusing. It's just interesting that it does relate. Okay, so here we have this minor pentatonic scale in the open position, called the E minor pentatonic scale. We talked about it yesterday. And it seems to me, if that's the E minor pentatonic scale and you have to use the open note, there's the open string, right? Well, if you move up a fret, what do you get? Well, if that was the E minor, you must get the F minor pentatonic scale, right? Because E to F is one semitone, or one fret. And then as you move through the scale, it's 2 frets. And then when you get to B to C, it's 1 fret again. So E to F is 1 fret. F to G is 2 frets. G to A is 2 frets. A to B is 2 frets. But B to C is 1 fret again. So E to F and B to C, always 1 fret, okay? Not 2 frets, okay? So it seems to me, if you know that that's an F, that's your root note, then you should be able to make that same formation as you did here, using the F, but now you have to fret it. It's not an open string, right? So it'll be the same thing. See that? It's the same pattern, and I'm showing it up here, but it's starting with the F note. And if you move up, let's go up to the G. Same pattern. It's just that you're starting from the G note. That's your root note. Go to A, it's going to be the same pattern. This is the A minor pentatonic scale. Okay? And if you move back, it's going to be A flat, right? So that's your minor pentatonic scale. That's a pattern that you'll find that you can use anywhere. But to know what's key you're in, you have to know the root note. And it's wherever you start from. In this case, from A, this would be the A minor pentatonic scale. If we start here at C, okay, so there we have it. There's C. So that's interesting. So that's the minor pentatonic scale. And you can play it up and down the fingerboard. You can play it in the open position against the open strings. Or you start fretting it. And then you can move all the way up. But you're doing the minor pentatonic scale. And it's interesting because I don't have a capo here to show. Oh, yes, I do. If I capo this at the 5th fret and I play that minor pentatonic, this is my A, right? Again, I'm doing the same thing like it's an open string because my capo is fretting that note. In this case, we're not going to use the capo. We have to play it. We start and end on the A. It's an A minor pentatonic scale. If I move up, it's just like putting a capo there, except I'm playing the note rather than okay. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. All right. So there we have it. So that's kind of interesting. That scale moves all the way up the fingerboard using that same pattern. Now, what about the major pentatonic scale? That's a minor pentatonic scale. Each one of these root notes has a major pentatonic scale. You have an A major pentatonic scale, you have a B major, just like you have a minor pentatonic scale. But it takes a different pattern, okay? So if you learn both those patterns, you've learned a lot. And you can connect those a million different ways. But let me show you an easy way to do a major pentatonic scale. Because you know the minor pentatonic scale pattern, you almost, not completely, but you almost know the major. It's that close. Okay, so let's say we want to play the A major pentatonic scale, not minor. Okay, if we played the A minor pentatonic scale, it would look like this. But if we want to play the A major pentatonic scale, again, you're going to start with your A. That's your root. Always start with your root. But in this case, we're going to move up to the 3rd fret on the 5th string. Excuse me, we're going to move up to the 2nd, well, we're going to move back 3 frets, which will take us to the 2nd fret. So on that, I said 2nd string, 5th string. I like to label these 1 through 6. The low note is 6. 5th string is your 2nd fret. Okay, that's the first part of the pattern for the major pentatonic scale for A. But the interesting thing is the same, it becomes now the same pattern as you move forward as you use for the minor. So it's just we started in a different place and we end in a different place. Okay, I don't know if you caught that, but you start here, go to the 5th string, 2nd fret, go to the 5th string, 4th fret, go to the 4th string, 2nd fret, go to 4, go to the 3rd string, 2nd fret, go to 4, go to the 3rd string, 2nd fret, go to 5, and you end on A, okay? That is the A major pentatonic scale. It works all the way up. So here's B. It's that same pattern. Okay, but you're starting here. All right, well, let's test it out. Let's see if it really works, okay? So there's another pattern for the A major pentatonic scale. And it looks like, well, actually for any major pentatonic scale, there's another pattern. And this one looks like this. We're going to do the A one, okay? So, because we were just working on the A. But you can do it a different way. You can do it this way. Okay, so you're on the 6th string, go 5, 7, go to the next string, go to 4, 7, go to the next string, go to 4, 7, go to the 3rd string, go to 4, and this time you're going to move to the 6th fret. Then you're going to go to the 2nd string, 5th fret, 7, 5, 7 on the 1st string. Okay, so let's try that again. Let me do that again. Let's do that again. So here we have A, starting on the A, 7th fret. Next string will be the 4th fret, 7th fret. The 3rd string is the oddball. You go to the 6th fret. Then you go to the next string. It's another, changes the pattern. 5, 7, 5, 7. The A major pentatonic scale. It matches this one. Sounds just like it. Doesn't it? Because it is. It's the same thing. It's just playing it differently, but it's the A major pentatonic scale. So if you want to do the B major pentatonic scale, start with your root note and then move up 3 frets and use that same pattern as you use for the minor pentatonic scale and end on B. Or you can do it this way. Oops. So I'm putting the chord chart, or the patterns, or the notes where you're supposed to fret, and but just remember, it's wherever you start your root note. And I've given you 2 different ways to do the major pentatonic scale, and I gave you 1 way to do the minor pentatonic scale. And it just so happens that much of the major pentatonic scale matches up to the minor depending on where you start. Okay, does that make sense? I don't know if I've confused you or if you actually see it. But if you do it over and over and over again, I think all of a sudden it's going to like, oh, I see what she's saying. That the major pentatonic scale uses a portion of the same pattern as the minor pentatonic scale, or it's got its own pattern. Okay? All right. Whoa, that was a lot, but I do think it's really interesting. And then when you start connecting those dots, it's as good as those coloring books get. It pulls it together so that now you can actually play something. I don't know. It just gives you something to work with and find your way around the fingerboard a little bit. All right. Well, we're going to leave it right there. And in about just a few minutes, I'm going to go live. So if you're listening to this video and it's not past 6 p.m. on this 27th, stay tuned and join us on the live. It'll be a lot of fun. Okay, I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are in this world.